Hey guys, today, or it's barely today, but yeah, today I am starting whatever I'm gonna call this. Yeah, I'm gonna try talk about my thoughts, I guess. Documenting the brain waves. Let's go. Yeah, mostly for practicing my speaking abilities, but also like a diary type bit, maybe. I don't know. Oh yeah. Okay, so I was thinking, I was just laying in bed, couldn't sleep, and I was starting to think like about art, and I started thinking about art is very much like you're in a car on like a very long, like windy road, and when wh- when you drive on that road, it can sometimes um it can be slippery, it can be like icy. Maybe you're unsure of your vehicle, or you don't know how much traction you have, so when you take like a turn, you might take you might not have the you might have too much speed when you hit a turn, or you might um not turn enough, or like you might yeah you might uh not judge the turning abilities, and like you might not know them. What? No. Okay, I'm just like I'm getting pictures in my head of like what I'm saying, and some of this does not make sense. Um, yeah, it can often be like if you just turn way too quick, and turning means like if you change direction, I guess. I don't know. You learn something new, and if you don't have enough traction, you might just fall off the road and like stop making art for some time until you're like picked back onto the road, or like pushed back onto the road, maybe by somebody else, maybe like someone comes and like picks you up personally, like maybe some tow truck company. Yeah, maybe you get like a job, and you end up like loving that job, and you start becoming art. Because yeah, it's when you're starting out, I feel like just knowing if you want to do it, or just knowing if you want to make art is kind of hard, because um art isn't it's not something. Well, it can often be something you just start doing, but it's often, if you don't have like a strong mindset, it's often very easy to just put it off, because if you don't if it doesn't give you any happiness, or doesn't like provide you any like benefit, it's often easy to overlook the importance of just making art. And so having like a job where you have to maintain some activity within like making art and stuff, um it can be good for like developing a habit of making art, but it can also drive you to the point where you just are too exhausted, or you just don't want to make art because it just reminds you of work, or maybe you, yeah, it could, it has benefits and non-benefit. No, it has the opposite of benefits. Yeah, that's what it's got sometimes. But it's, yeah, I don't know. Art is for everyone. Some people seem to think that you gotta be like amazing at whatever to become, to make art. But it's like, as long as you can, I would say that if you're able to put like a toilet roll, like like the roll of a toilet paper thing, and put glue on it, I would say that's, yeah, that could be, that yeah, you could qualify that as art. And you, if you could draw like, if you could draw like a blob on a piece of paper, that is art as well, as long as it's not like, or well, I'm saying like as long as it is not, but art is like, you could do you can do anything. It's there are no rules, there are just guidelines. It's often used to think that there are rules, but any of those rules can be broken. So they're thinking of them as rules is kind of stupid, because we're taught to like follow rules, and people say like, oh, rules are meant to be broken, but often it's not, kind of like, when is murder okay? Well, maybe if you're a soldier, but like breaking that rule, like if you kill somebody as like a regular person, I don't think that's like a good way of breaking the rules. But there are definitely good ways of breaking the rules in art, like deciding that you're just gonna do a thing that's like supposedly wrong, in air quotations. I don't have hands anymore, they're under my blankets. So I'm gonna say it audibly instead of do the air quotes. Um, yeah. So yeah, there are no rules. Just dance on the floor or under it. Who cares? The only people caring about like rules are the people who are like too strict on themselves, and instead of making art, they make like a product. Because I would classify anything you make for others instead of yourself is more of a product than art. But then again, that's also just my qualifications for what art is, and everyone has their own. I'm so thirsty, Jesus. Everyone has their qualifications for what art is, and it's not wrong, it's not right, it's just everyone has their own idea of what art actually is. And that is a good thing, because it's nice to just, somebody could have like a really wacky idea, and then they could execute on that idea, and then it could be beautiful, and then somebody else could have the same, or get the same idea from looking at something and then make it, and then it is terrible because they try to replicate whatever, and they can't seem to replicate it the way they wanted it, and then they're like, oh no, I can't do it as good as this other person. Oh, I'm so bad. What? Such a baddie. What? Yeah. No, it's like some people, like I used to think like, oh, you should never compare yourself to others. But it's like, comparing yourself to others can be a very good way to judge like where you are and like based based on like capabilities and stuff, and then you can like see, okay, I'm bad at anatomy, maybe I should learn that. um Instead of thinking like, oh yeah, I'm super great at an anatomy, and then you actually aren't, and then you never. Oh, stretching my legs. Wee. Uh, yeah, because it's easy to get into a mindset of like, oh yeah, I know everything that I need to know. I can make the art that I really want, and then for like a long period of time, that might be true to you, and then you sometimes like one day you see someone doing something insanely cool, and then you're just sat there being like, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I was like as good as that person. And then you feel bad about yourself, and then you're like, oh, I can't, I'm not as good as this person, I need to give up because I will never be as good as this person. But that is like, often you're told to like, don't compare yourself, because the person you're comparing yourself to has a completely different life, and like has done completely different practices and stuff like that. You should never compare yourself, because that is just demotivating. But then I would say it has its place, because if you wanna improve, knowing what you're bad at, or what you could improve, or what you want to improve, could be a nice way to improve. And improvement doesn't always mean making a better art piece. Sometimes it's just getting a better mindset. So if you like, um, instead of thinking, or instead of making yourself feel bad about yourself whenever you make a thing, and thinking like, oh shit, this is so bad, why can't I be better? Instead of thinking that, you can think like, whoa, okay, it's it's not as good as I wanted, but it was still fun making this shit, even though it looks completely horrendous. I had fun, and I wanna do it again one day. I wanna do it again, like, soon. Like, just changing your perspective and mindset can be a form of improving. It doesn't have to be visual, or like something that others can tell, because often a focus is to make, or to improve in a way that others see that you improve, and not as much as like you seeing that, or you feeling or seeing that you change stuff about yourself, to make art more fun, or make it more like inspiring for you, instead of like trying to be cool. Because if you try to be cool, or at least out of the box, I found no I find being, or wanting to be cool, and like being cringe, and like being delusional and shit, is like, if you download a software with like the bare bones, like it's open source, and it has like mods or whatever, add-ons and stuff, like Blender, for example. If you would think of stock Blender as like being cringe and like uncool, maybe even like stupid, like being like weird and stuff, and then you compare like with add-ons, the neighbor dogs are up now. Yeah, if you, I don't know if this theory or this thought is actually got any. Okay, so what I'm thinking is that all of, if you have add-ons, that is like the cool. Yeah, okay. So if you have add-ons in Blender, that's like kind of like being cool. And then just because you have an add-on doesn't mean you are able to use it. So just because you're trying to be cool doesn't mean you're going to be able to do it, because you don't know how to be cringe, if that makes sense. I don't think this holds very much water because it isn't a cup. um yeah, I don't know. I find there was this image somebody posted in my Discord channel, um or a friend of mine posted in the Discord channel. uh it was like, being cool gives no results, or wanting to stay cool, like, whoa, I'm so cool, I don't do stupid stuff because I'm a cool person, right? Then you never try stuff, or there are so many things you're just too afraid to try, because if you always have to be cool when doing something, you're gonna be like, oh no, I can't do this, this is weird, and this is not cool. People are going to think I'm weird and I'm stupid. What? No, I can't do this. What? I gotta be cool. I gotta show how cool I am. If I am not cool, I am stupid. And I don't want to be stupid because I want to be cool and accepted by others. Which is a reasonable thing. You're biologically programmed to want to fit in, even though you might not fit in. It's like, maybe if you like lacked that region of brain, if somebody like lobotomized you and like removed whatever part of the brain like responsible for like socializing, or the instincts of wanting to be accepted. But the thing is, just like you can learn to draw, or you can learn to have an open mindset, and you can learn to drive, you can learn to get over fears, you can also learn to adapt to lessen your dependence on others' approval, which is easier said than done, because again, it's like a deep rooted fear in most people, that like being an outsider is like, it can be lonely, or it can make you feel lonely, and like it can mess you up in the head if you don't like treat it properly, like if you don't approach um learning how to like be more independent of others' opinions. I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought there. Um, yeah, I still, hmm, yeah, I still find art very fun, and I've even heard some people who like do it for work, and like they don't think of it as art; they think of it more as a product. They, some people has have stopped wanting to make art because it just reminds them of the it doesn't give them any fun anymore. And my idea of like, when art doesn't become fun or isn't fun anymore, is often because you're not experimenting enough, like you're just following the same patterns, like you have a workflow that works very efficiently, instead of like as much um as much enjoyment as possible, because when you're making a product you want to have like efficiency, because the less you have to work for the more, like for more money, the better it is as like a work thing. But as an art, the more you get to express yourself, the better. So like having workflows and having like really solid workflows, and like having, for example, like assets, for example in 3D, where you have the ability to reuse assets, compared to like maybe you could reuse 2D assets or elements or whatever. I'm not very into the 2D stuff, at least not like the, I don't know, I like drawing like random squiggly lines that just makes my pattern recognition go off. But other than, oh yeah, other than that, I lost my train of thought again. No, I was thinking about art as a product. Oh yeah, efficiency. Yeah, I find efficiency being like, or striving to be more efficient is kind of like a way to put a break. Kind of, it's weird because it's the more efficient of a mindset you, or the more your mindset is fixated on efficiency, the less fun. Some people might have a lot more fun making, like working on making it efficient, but it could also just lead to doing the same thing in the same way in the same time amount, and like the, it's just like making a copy of something, and some people might enjoy that, and that is okay. um I'm not gonna say that a different way than what I like to do is a wrong way of doing art. It can often seem like it if you're like very stubborn, and if you don't open up to like other purple people. Grimace. The microdonalds. What? No, I don't know. No, if you don't open up to others' mindsets as being valid, if you think everyone is wrong but you, like you have all the answers and everyone else is stupid and everyone else is like bad compared to you, then you are more likely to be the stupid. Because if you think that you could be the stupid one, if you realized like, oh yeah, I could be the stupid one, I could definitely be the stupid one, and I see 5 reasons of why I am actually the stupid one in this argument. Then it means you are open to learn that you are wrong, and if you're open to learn that you're wrong, you will change your mind, or like realize like, oh yeah, I'm wrong, I gotta change my mind, instead of like, no, I'm right, everyone else is wrong, I don't need to change my mindset because I'm the right one. They're all the wrong. They, yeah. Then if you aren't open to being stupid, or well, wrong isn't being stupid, but you can be stupid by not. You can become stupid if you don't accept that you're wrong. Because if you don't accept that you're wrong, you never learn, or you don't think of learning. Because why would you learn if you don't if you aren't wrong? No, if you aren't, yeah, if you're not wrong, you don't need to become right. So if you know that you're wrong, you can know that you have to be more right, or get more right. Yeah. I'm in like the next Saturday. Today it's Saturday, and the next Saturday in 1 week, I think. Wait, no. Okay, so it's it's the 1st of March. Okay, so in 1 week, I'm gonna be on stage for the second time in like forever, and that's gonna be fun. Hopefully, it's gonna be like the UKM, not the United Kingdom masturbation session. It's gonna be United Kingdom. What did I say? United States? I don't know. In my head, I did. United Kingdom music. It's not that. It's something like, yeah, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know. It's some kind of event. Um, I was luckily invited by somebody else because I would never have joined. Oh, I would. My stomach is starting to hurt so much. Holy crap. But yeah, I would never have joined if I wasn't invited by some other people, and I'm very happy that I started like joining music related activity or events. I mean, because I remember story time with Marius. So I remember going to an Aurora concert with my sister last February, I think, around that time. No, yeah, maybe around this time. Um, and I remember when I was there, I heard somebody saying, like, I overheard many people saying, like, "Oh, she's so cool," or like they loved how like quirky Aurora was, or like how how good, like she has an amazing voice. I'm a very big fan of her. She's like one of my main inspirations of make starting to make music. Oh yeah, yeah. Now I remember why I was starting to talk about the Aurora concert. So I was like, bruh, I gotta start making music because, bruh, I need this. And then I started making music, and it was pretty trash. Like when I, it's more fun than impressive. Or yeah, it's more funny than impressive when I look back at it. It's like really funny how little I knew about anything about music. It was just like which one was the first one? It was the, I don't know. I made like a more like a story, uh, with like um, wait, which one? It was somebody's katsu. What was the lyrics again? Something about the dumpster diver. Yeah, okay. And then I made like the bunking, body dunking, conking, bunking, badunking, gong. And then I made like the bunda yoseno, bunia colado, dun dun dun. And then, yeah, I don't know. It was very fun. And then I showed those to some people at like a music workshop type beat. I don't know. I was there to show my art to the people there because I don't know. I love showcasing my art to people in person instead of like online, because in person, I think my phone is like, oh no, okay, it was just turning darker. I think in person you get like a lot more feedback, or not essentially feedback, but it's more enjoyable because you can see them like actually enjoying it instead of like giving you a thumbs up or like writing, oh yeah, I think this is pretty cool, when you see them going like, whoa, yo, what? This is so fucking sick, bruh. What? That has a lot better, like a lot more impact, I believe. Or for me, it at least has a lot more impact. But yeah, I was showing my music to those people, and then there was a guy who told me about this course, like a songwriting course in the summer, like a few months, that was going to take a place, take place in a few months after that. I think that was in like April when I was invited to it, maybe around there. I think so. And then I was like, yeah, okay, yeah. And then I was like, am I gonna do it? And then I thought like, because I heard it was in a um high school. Yeah, high school I think is the, yeah, because middle school and then yeah, okay. Yeah, it was in a high school, and I was like, oh, maybe it's gonna be like full of kids, and it's gonna be uncomfortable being there, and like people be like, what? Why is a grown man here? And then the first time I was there, I think I looked so on the spectrum that like I don't know, I felt so weird because I felt like people would, because when I came in the door, somebody was like, "Oh, you're a part of the crew, the the songwriters," and I'm like, "No, I'm gonna be in the course. I'm gonna take the course." And they were like, "Oh, uh, how old are you?" And I'm like, "Uh, 20." And then he looked at me. The My alarm went off. And then the guy looked at me and he was like, "Oh, okay." And from that point on, I was just like, "Oh no, did I?" Because I didn't check what the age gap was, like how old you could be. And so I was like, "Oh no, is this like for 15-year-olds?" And then I woke up into the cafeteria, and then I see like a whole bunch of like 15 to like 18-year-olds, and I'm like, no. And then I feel so, oh, I felt so awkward, and I go over, I don't remember if I sit at a table with somebody else, but I don't know, it was like packed with so many people, and I was like, no, I feel fucking so bad. And I had already gotten late because I took, oh yeah, I took the bus complete to the complete different school, because I was like, oh yeah, I know where that school is. Didn't check it in Google Maps, just trusted my gut, and I took the bus the complete opposite way. And so I was like, I wasn't very late to it. I just came like a few minutes too late. But I was like, no, if I get 2 seconds later, they're gonna be gone. And then, yeah, I don't know. But it ended up being fine. I had to wait like for an hour, for half an hour, anyways, in the cafeteria, because people were like starting to like introduce themselves, like the crew and stuff. Um, and then I remember, um, oh yeah, I just have oh, I just remember my face from like the lanyard I had when I worked at the studio thing. Yeah, I have that image in my head when I'm thinking of myself that first time I was there, because this was a course that went on for like a week. Started on a Monday and then ended on a Friday, I think it was. Or maybe it was in the weekend too. I don't. No, I think it was up until Friday. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we ended up sitting in the cafeteria listening to the people, and then we were called up, and that was kind of whack because we had to stand in front of everybody, I think. Um, and yeah, it was yep. I don't know. I remember this one guy, like, he didn't speak Norwegian. He spoke some other language. Maybe like it sounded like some Arabic, like, language, and he was just like saying something with like such anger in his voice, and his friends were like, "Whoa, whoa, you can't say that." In like that was the tone. Um, but they were also speaking in like Arabic type language. And then because I was like, I was getting like water from the water dispenser, and then I turned back, and those three people are looking at me. Two of them very concerned for like, oh, maybe he actually understood what he said, and the other guy looks so fucking pissed. He looks so angry. He's like, I was like, what on God did he just say? Like, I wasn't offended. I was just like, what did I do to offend that guy? Or what happened to him? What happened in his day to get so annoyed at me just walking past, getting water from a dispenser, and just, I don't know. The way his friends reacted was like, it sounded like he was like, I'm gonna kill that guy, screw him, something like that, because he sounded very insecure. And I saw him like afterwards, he was standing like 10 meters away from everybody else because he was so uncomfortable around anyone. And I think like he was, I don't know, he probably thought something and projected it onto me, and like, I don't know. um but yeah, that was kind of funny because I was like, I couldn't tell what they were saying, but I could tell kind of what they were saying, like the vibe of it. And I don't know, I just really wanted to go. I don't know. I had like the thought of like, should I just like should I just turn around and like look at them and like, yeah, yeah, I know, because I think they would respect that, or those two friends would respect, or like be like, "Yo, no, why did he say that to him?" And then yeah. Um, but anyway, yeah, we get like called up in front of everyone, and then after a while, we go with like the leader type guy, the guy who is going to teach us stuff, because there were multiple courses. There were like songwriting, and there were cooking lessons, for photography lessons as well. I remember this one photographer who went around with like EOS R5. It was pretty beefy looking, or at least his lens looked pretty beefy. And like, I'm a pretty big like camera nerd, geek type beat, and so I actually didn't talk to him very much. I I was very uncomfortable every time I was on camera because I was actually just like, I don't know, the rooms we were in were too tiny, so I was like cramped in there, and I was like feeling really bad because, I don't know, I felt like I was stinking up the place because like anxiety sweat or whatever. Um, and there was like next to no ventilation in those rooms. So I was like, oh, yep, I'm making the whole room stinky probably. And then I was like, oh, yeah. And then I didn't want anyone to be close to me because I was so sweaty. But yeah, anyway, back to, we go to the classrooms because there were in the classrooms we were having like the thing. Um, and this guy, oh yeah, so this guy, I meet, or there was, I sit next to a guy in the I think we were like four guys and like 10 girls. um and this guy I sit next to, like, goes like, "Oh, hey, Marius, you're here as well." And I'm like, uh, uh, y- uh, uh, y- uh, uh, I'm like panicking because I couldn't remember who he was. And then he was like, "Yeah, we went photographing this one time." And I'm like, were you the one I met when I was hiking that one time? And then he said like, "No." And I was just like, "No, oh, this is so awkward. Why? Who is this guy?" And then I just like remembered after like 10 minutes, like, "Oh yeah, I remember you." And the funny thing was that this guy was kind of my neighbor. His grandma, yeah, his grandma is my neighbor, and he lives like 10 minutes away, walking distance. And he was over at his grandma's house, like cutting like a bush. And I was walking past I was walking in the yard of my neighbors, not the neighbors of not his grandma, but like my stepdad's yard. No, stepdad's parents' yard. And I saw this guy, and I don't know why I said it, but I was like, um, "Do you wanna?" Maybe it was he taking pictures? I don't remember why, but I just got the courage to I don't know why I got the courage, but I got the courage to just say like, "Oh hi, do you wanna like go take pictures if you wanna like take stuff for like Instagram or something? Like just go take pictures someday." And then he was like, "Yeah, sure." And then I got this number, and one day I don't remember when or how or what, but we went out photographing, and maybe it was the same day. I don't remember at all. Uh, but yeah, we went photographing together, like in the neighborhood. We didn't go like very far, or we didn't take like pretty cool pictures or anything. We just, oh yeah, he had a camera. Did he? I don't know. Did he? Reference. But yeah, I don't know if I, yeah, I don't know. I showed him my Instagram as well, where I made like the pixelated 3D renders at that time. When I didn't know how to actually model, so all of my, instead of learning how to model, I just pixelated the stuff because that actually looked a lot better than just whatever I could make. Um, and I'm very happy I made that connection, because after that point we had such a good time together. Like it was just as if we had never like not talked together. And there were points where I was like, maybe I should call that guy up and ask if he wanted to go and like photograph more or something. And yeah, I don't know, it was very funny when we met in the place, because we both were like, yo, this is such a, it's like a small world, because we, I don't know, he ended up, he's like really good at like several uh instruments, like really good. And he also sings. So the one time, or a time, the what, no, I don't know, at least I feel a lot, or I started feeling a lot more uh like secure about myself, or like a lot more, I was enjoying the course a lot more when me and him were like popping off. But then I was also pretty popular with all of the girls as well, because they were like super amazed that I could do like the Samsung ring, the Samsung notification whispering, that like the, Okay, my lips are too dry, but the bam. Yeah, I could do that, and they were like, "Whoa, you can actually what?" And I thought they were joking. I thought they were like making fun of me, like, "Whoa, you can do that! Oh my god, so cool!" Like jokingly, sarcastically. So I was like, What?" Because I just made it like one time, and they were like, "Ooh!" I thought like all of them, like I thought none of them heard it because they were like all talking, and then I just made that sound, and everyone stopped talking, just starting like, "Whoa, what can, how, what did you do, how did you do that?" And like I was just, "What?" I just because I do it like a tick sometimes. I just not like a tick. Yeah, I don't, maybe a tick. I'm gonna stretch my legs again. But yeah, I do it as a tick because it's a very funny sound effect, and sometimes I've even like gotten old people to check their phone. Like one time I was on a bus, and I just like do 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 do, and the person next to me like tried getting their phone out of their pants and checked it, and they were like, "What? Okay." And then I did it again later on, and they picked up their phone again, and they were like, "What?" And so I was like, "Wow, this is so empowering." But yeah, I was very popular, but I also felt so awkward because I don't know. I still felt like, oh, maybe I'm not welcome here because I'm so old. Because a lot of those girls were like very young, and I've heard like I've watched so many documentaries of like Minecraft YouTubers doing like the dirty towards underage people, and I was like, no, people, the grown ups are probably think I'm like some Minecraft YouTuber or whatever, because I was so, I don't know, I'm autistic as shit, so I don't really fit into many social situations. So I kind of just end up brute forcing it, and I end up maybe coming off as like really weird and like antisocial maybe. But yeah, it's funny because I don't know. It seemed like my presence had like a good had a nice effect on like the energy or the like the openness of the whole all of the people, because by day one we were all like pretty shy. Nobody like talked to each other unless they knew each other. But the last day we were like clapping. If somebody like whenever somebody walked into the room, we would all start clapping. Somebody could just like fall off their chair and we all start clapping. Somebody says something wrong, we start clapping. Somebody says something right, we start clapping. Like the vibe was just so different, and the last day I felt so sad because it was over. Like, but it's just like, no, why can't this be more? And then, oh yeah, I don't know, I was also like having some mental health struggles at that point. So the I don't know, it was so amazing being there and thinking over it, that like thinking about it, that I was very close to like not going and being put off uh by like the age gap. Like, oh yeah, I don't know, it feels weird. um yeah, it's a pretty good decision. It's definitely one of the decisions I've made in a long time, and it's a reoccurring benefit. Like it's not just like that course, because I didn't really learn that much. uh Most of what I learned was like people in the music industry can be cool. um it can also be very stressful, or you could also meet people in the music world who are like have a really strong ego and are hard to work with. uh and yeah, they told us about uh like the problems with people who are like who can't give up control and stuff, or can't let other people do stuff, having to do like everything themselves and stuff like that. And music collaboration should be fun and entertaining and stuff like that, instead of like frustrating. And yeah, uh and I think I took that way too far, because we had several groups. Like we went into groups. Each day we had a new group to make like a song or something. And the first day I had a lot of fun, because I was kind of the one with the ideas and with the confidence to say my ideas. The two other people were like kind of quiet, and like maybe I took the stage a little too much, but I tried like incorporating their ideas, but they were kind of shy and like didn't have as many ideas. So I was just like, okay, if you're not gonna do anything, or they were doing stuff. I was just compensating for their lesser. That sounds very egotistical in my opinion. I tried to like since they were less comfortable coming with their ideas, I thought like, yeah, I should come up with something, I guess. Um, but yeah, it was very fun. We didn't finish that song, and the producer that we were with, wasn't there the next day. He was coming back like 2 days after, maybe. I don't know. He had a very cool motorcycle bike motorbike helmet thing. I don't know. That's one thing I remember. Um, but yeah, he wasn't coming back until of Wednesday, I think. Yeah, maybe. And so we had this other guy or we had a different group the next day. Yeah, the next day. Um, there was this producer who had been like, I don't know, he had a lot of experience. He had even been touring with Aurora, which is my idol, not my single idol. I have like so many idols, because I find having many different idols is better than having one idol, because you can't like do the same as one of your idols, like all the same, but you can do similar things to many of your idols. But yeah, anyway, um yeah, he was also friends with Aurora's producer, I think. Something along the lines. And I was like, yo, very cool. Because I even come from the same um town ish, around the same town maybe, as Aurora. So that means we are basically the same person, and we're just as talented. Yeah, definitely how that works. If you have something in common with an artist, you definitely are as good as that artist. Yeah, 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 that's how it works. Um, but yeah, no, I the second time, I think we were in a no, we were in the same little room thingy. It was so tiny. It was like smaller than my bathroom, maybe the size of my bathroom. My bathroom is kind of small. Um, yeah, and we were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ish. Sometimes there were some people who walked in and out to like listen to us and stuff, and yeah, I don't know. I was so uncomfortable. So when I sang, I constricted my airflow, so I was singing like very deeply and very like non-expressively, because I wasn't used to singing in front of people, and I didn't tell the people there, so I was just like, I don't know. They probably thought like, oh yeah, he probably can't sing because, yeah, I don't know. There were other people who were less attuned to the music as I am. No, there were people without like a good pitch, um, or pitch control, which again is not a problem. It's just they might not sing as often as I do. I sing like constantly. It's like one of the main ways I calm my brain whenever I make art and stuff, either whistling or singing. And I do it constantly for hours. So sometimes my vocal track, yeah, is just like pain, or I heard like knocking on the wall, but it wasn't. It was just the wind, I think. But yeah, I do it constantly. So like I it's not that I have perfect pitch control, but I definitely have better than what I had like a few years ago. Because now I live like kind of alone. Um, I have a roommate who's in the army, and he comes home every now and then. Um, and whenever he's home, I don't sing as loud or as expressively, so it's kind of like it doesn't. I'm not able to relax as much because I'm not able to like stim how much I need to stim. So it just, I don't know, if like all the weeks, or the week when my roommate is home, it's like I can't relax at all because, I don't know, I'm just building up stress until he leaves again, and then I kind of just like collapse, kind of. I just have like a really bad week that week afterwards. Well, not bad week, but I have like an exhausted week, both the week when he is here and after he's gone. And he's gone like 6 weeks, and then he comes home 1 week. Mm, but yeah, we ended up making music the second day, and we actually finished. No, yeah, wait. We either had we either had 2 days on that one song, or 1 day and then tuning the second day. Wow, I don't remember. Oh yeah, yeah, no, the I think it was 2 days. Um, but yeah, we ended up being very happy with it. I can't say that I'm very happy with it, but it's a funky tune. It's definitely a funky tune. Um, and the people in my group, the two of the girls were like um very like, oh, we gotta perform this, we gotta make this, we gotta get it heard by the masses and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, that's a little ambitious, but sure, okay. And so that's basically what we're gonna do in a week. We're gonna perform that song uh in front of, I don't know how much of an audience it is. It could be 10 people, it could be 1,000 people. I am not searching up anything because, firstly, I don't care. I like taking things like spontaneously, and also it's more fun being able to just dream about how it might happen, and then being like completely wrong, and then going like, oh yeah, okay, all of my thoughts of this beforehand was completely off, way off, like a by the distance of the moon to the sun or whatever. It's like, yeah, I can never predict anything reasonably because all of my predictions are like so far flung that it only makes sense in like a science fiction movie or something, or like a movie where like the protagonist only has positive things. But that is not how life works. If you never have bad like roadblocks in your life, you will never learn to. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Um, yeah. If you have no bad like roadblocks, I believe you're like missing out on the Arctic. Wait a minute, how much power do I have left? Oh, 32%. Okay, I'm gonna probably have to like decrease the visual quality on this because the pixel count probably doesn't matter because the bitrate and shit is, yeah. The quality of this video is not the point. Uh, yeah, this is the Yap channel, my Yap channel. Um, yeah, I literally just laid in bed for like an hour and like, oh, I can't sleep. I slept on the couch before that, so I did get some sleep. I'm feeling very tired. Yup. Okay. I'm very tired. I was I was at like a party thing yesterday where there were like, oh, maybe like 10 kids from like 3 to 6 years old, and oh, it was so much chaos. If you've ever been to like a kids party, yeah, that was basically what it was. I was told it was supposed to be like a creative workshop. No, I was drawing. No, I was painting, but it was more like a party. It was more like a kids party than a workshop. Um, yeah, and I was like, oh my god, why did I? But then again, I don't know. There were like 4 kids who came up to me and were like, "You are very good at drawing and painting and drawing. Uh, I like this one. I really like this one. I like this one the most. Which one do you like the most? I like this one. Wow, that is very cool." Like that's that. It was pretty cute, but it was also very tiring because one of the guys were like amped up because everyone were like, "Oh my god, he's so hyper! Wow!" And then like, yeah, I don't know, he was just way too hyper, and he was trying to make me laugh by being obnoxious, and I just looked at him every time he tried with disapproval and just didn't laugh to make him like stop, because if I don't give him a reaction, he's not gonna be satisfied, and if he isn't satisfied, he's gonna go bother somebody else. Um, but yeah, he also really liked drawing. Of course, he wasn't as greatly gifted and talented as I am with my really great um mindsets and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, well, back to the music thing. Yeah, we're gonna perform the thing. I was also, the first time I was on stage was through the thing where I went and got the chorus. Like one of the songwriters. I think he's a songwriter. He's not a song producer. He said he has a producer for his music. I don't know. Anyway, he helped us uh, with a Christmas event where we were going to be singing like the first, like we we opened the ceremony or whatever. The we opened we were the first people on stage. Yeah, we were the first people on stage, and yeah, it was my first time, and it was so chaotic. Like, not on stage. On being on stage was not a huge problem for me because I've been like, I'm not a stranger to uh, most of my life. People have been like, "Yo, you're so weird," or like people recognize me often, or have easily recognized me. I would never I would never see as how people recognize me. I am the least recognizable of all people. I definitely. Um, but yeah, no, I'm not very like after I started the second year of high school when I switched from like machine and industry type like metalworking and stuff. When I switched from that after having been to like a really trash school where like the teachers were like uninterested, and yeah, that's a talk for a different day. um but yeah, they were not very keen on letting us be creative and like make stuff we wanted. We were always just like on the production line making like welding, grounding clamps for welding. Yeah, grounding. I don't remember what they're called in English, but in Norwegian it's called jordingsklemmer. Like, that was just a weird way of saying it. But yeah, jordingsklemmer på godt bergensk. Eller osvensk. Yeah, okay, fuck it. Yeah. I don't remember. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was. Yeah, I got a lot of confidence when I was in second year of high school. That's when I started building up my confidence in myself because I started making more and more YouTube videos, and I even like my personality was my YouTube channel, like the one where I post like the cool stuff. Not this one. If I don't know if this is gonna be the same channel or if I'm gonna make a new one. So yeah, okay. So I don't know. Maybe I'll make a playlist with these videos, or maybe I just make a new one. I don't know, man. I don't know. We will see. Maybe under the sea. Right next to me is the bird I created with your mom. Skibbity dabbity bum bada bum. That's a bum. Um, I don't know. It's been 1 hour and almost 10 minutes. Bruh. This is like uh you waking up right next to me and I start yapping about something random. Start yapping about art after you wake up at a one night stand and next to a rambling artist POV. Yeah. Um is there anything more? I don't know. Maybe this is a good place to stop it now. Um, yeah, 10 minutes is 1 hour and 10 minutes. That's a good. Oh shoot. Yeah. I have a good day. See ya when I see ya.